teams to go down 0-2 at home. There were 46 of them in a best-of-7 series. Only 5 went on to win the series. So, Ramona, Bobby, those were the stakes that the Pistons were facing last night. Legends were in the building for this one as they tried to get their first home playoff win since 2008. Rip Hamilton, he was a member of the 08 team, and he shared his perspective on playing back then and supporting the current team.
Isaiah Thomas jersey retired, Joe Dumars, all the great players that came before us, and we wanted to play for them guys. So now we're the OGs for this young group of guys, so we want to come out there, support them, give them as much advice and much confidence as possible. It takes a village to go ahead and win a world championship.
That was Rip with our friend Lisa Salters during the game. So in the third quarter, that's where we go. The Pistons, they would go on a run here. We're going to start with Cade stealing the ball, pushing it up. Crafty gets in the paint, plus the foul. Okay, so just keep an eye on that ticker at the top of your screen. So it's a 15-3 run at this point. Duncan Robinson catches it, knocks down the three. All right, so now we're at an 18-3 run, 21-3 run now. Asar Thompson, cookies, steals the ball, goes the other way, emphatic slam, exclamation point, and look who is loving it. Another one of those legends, Isaiah Thomas, he's loving it. And then the Pistons are just continuing to pour it on at this point. Cade lobs it up to Duren. We wanted to see more Bobby from Duren in this one.
Yeah, we did, and we saw certainly 54 paint points last night. That was a big key coming into the game.
And the 30-3 run to blow this thing wide open.
It was a game at halftime.
This is when you could take your dinner break, Ramona. The Pistons still leading at this point. Cade sizing up Ben Caro, crosses it up. Oh. Lays it in. What a move there by Cade. So the Pistons defeat the Magic big in this one. The final score is 98-83, and now the series is all tied up at 1 game apiece. So Detroit officially, they snapped the longest home losing streak in NBA postseason history. Phew. It was at 11 games. Now, the last time the Pistons, they won a playoff game at home, it was May 26, 2008. And fun fact, the eventual champion of the Boston Celtics, our friend Kendrick Perkins, he fouled out of that game against Detroit.
You just had to do that to him, huh?
And game 2 is underway. This is one of the underrated rivalries in the NBA. Murray, the Heat. DiVincenzo for 3. Cash. And attack. You don't have to have a 3. That's a long 2. No good. DiVincenzo has it up to Randall. 5 seconds. DiVincenzo, a shocker here in Denver. This series is tied.
Go out for Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, the whole team. They're all bad defenders. Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
Okay, I'm not going to use the same name calling that Jaden McDaniels did, but I'm just going to say the numbers show he may have a point because the Wolves are shooting at least 35% against each of Denver's starting 5 as the primary defenders this series. Now, the Nuggets, they had this to say when they were asked about McDaniels' thoughts on their defense.
Thoughts on Jaden McDaniels' comments about your team's defense?
I can't wait for his podcast.
They've just been saying a lot all season, all series, so let them talk. Let them get everything they want off their chest. We're cool with it.
I think narrative's really interesting, too. You hear so many things, and we've gotten really lazy in society. What's our defensive rating in this series through 2 games?
Really 109, right?
109.
Really good.
How is that?
That's fair. 6 best in the playoffs.
6 best in the playoffs? Oh. Okay. Next.
He said, next. All right, Anthony Slater has been covering this series for us. Slater, Jaden McDaniels, he's actually not usually a big talker, which is why I found this so interesting. He's usually pretty soft-spoken. He really, though, stirred something up in the Nuggets, but judging by their reactions here. So I'm curious if the players, are they still talking about this going into Game 3?
Well, we are, and I think they're a little annoyed by it, right?
Okay.
You know, Tim Hardaway did his shoot-around availability about, 10 feet to my right a couple hours ago. He got peppered with 2 more questions about it, and he was like, hey, it was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. But, look, it's the topic of the series, and it is a topic that should annoy them. It's an opponent saying how bad they are defensively, individually going down the roster, essentially. So Jaden McDaniels also talked at Wolves shoot-around today, and I asked him about that comment. Here he is.
Adams said he was waiting for your podcast.
Who?
Their coach.
He said what?
He would like to hear your podcast.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Podcast? Nah, that's not me.
Yeah, so, I mean, this becoming the topic of the series, one of the points the Nuggets have made is they don't need any extra fuel. This is game 3 of the first round of a huge playoff series, but you've got to imagine, they're going to come out tonight, particularly on the defensive end, with a little bit more of a charge to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Since us still talking about is annoying them, I will leave that there. Before you continue to become the next member of the Blue Man Group with the lighting that's changing over there, let's get to a couple of injuries, because we know, Slater, that Anthony Edwards, who was already listed as questionable again with that right knee issue, but now we see Aaron Gordon has been added to the injury report as well. Who's in, who's out, what's going on there?
Yeah, we'll start with Edwards. I mean, I don't want to say it's a fake questionable, but it's what they continue to do. He's questionable for game 1, questionable for game 2, and he played a team-high 40 minutes. So expectation remains he's going to keep playing. We just got to see how the knee responds. He's grabbed at it a few times. On the Gordon front, it's trending in a bad direction, right? It was probable as of this morning, and it has gone to questionable. That trend line, I think, would make him more of an actual true questionable, and we got to watch his status, coming into tonight's game.
All right, that's something certainly that we will be keeping an eye on. Slater, go enjoy the rave, I guess, that's happening behind you.
Victor Wembanyama will travel with the Spurs to Portland, where that series continues tomorrow. Except for the concussion in Game 2 Tuesday, he fell, had his chin and head bounce off the floor. You just saw right there. The concussion protocol mandates that he not play for 48 hours and only if symptoms are gone. Meanwhile, tonight's NBA slate loaded with 3 Game 3s. We're going to start with Knicks-Hawks at 7 Eastern. New York's looking to steal one on the road after blowing a 12-point lead entering the fourth quarter in Game 2, tied for their largest such collapse in franchise history. Then it is Cavaliers-Raptors at 8, with the Cavs in the driver's seat up 2-0. In franchise history, Cleveland has won all 17 playoff series when leading 2-0. And lastly, it is Nuggets-Timberwolves. This series has been cinema, with Minnesota tying the series 1-1 in Game 2, followed by Jaden McDaniels calling out the Nuggets by name, saying that they are all, quote, bad defenders. Speaking of bad defenders, sports betting analyst Joe Fortenbaugh joins me in studio. Look, give us some plays that you like across the slate of games tonight. Start with the Knicks and the Hawks.
Let's start with a prop there. Josh Hart's rebound prop, 8.5. Let's play the over. I think this is a bit of a mistake. There's his season average, and then there's what he's doing in the playoffs. Here's what I mean. Season average, 7.4 rebounds per game in 30 minutes. I think that's what this line is priced based on. But in the playoffs so far in this matchup, 13.5 rebounds per game in 36 minutes. Hart is a baller in the postseason. 9.4 rebounds per game. He's gone 10 or more rebounds in 7 of his last 9 playoff games. So we're going to lean into this tonight until the bookmakers make a correction. Game number 2, Raptors in the first half on the money line, -105. This is an old school sports betting angle. Teams down 0-2 in a playoff series, coming home, desperation do or die spot. You get the crowd pop. Role players play better at home than they do on the road. And the Raptors, number 8 in the NBA this year, in point spread covers in the first half at home. For Minnesota, let's take a look at the Timberwolves in the second quarter over the Nuggets. Why? Taking advantage of how they deploy Nikola Jokic. He plays all 12 minutes in the first quarter, then he traditionally sits for 4 minutes to start the second quarter. That's your opportunity. Minnesota knows this. They outscored Denver in the second quarter by 14 points in Game 2. And for the season, Denver ranked 19th in second quarter point spread covers. Finally, Jokic, over 23.5 rebounds plus assists. His average on the season was right around here. But it's a playoff game. He's going to see more minutes tonight. He's had at least 23 rebounds plus assists in both games this series, so he's got a high floor. But look at the total in this game, 231.5. It is priced for scoring, and the early bettors steam that up to about 233.5. The more scoring, the more possessions, the more assists and rebounds we should generate.
What he says. Thank you, Joe.